So for people that don't know about the Pax products, can you tell me a little bit about your business?
So we are a very popular consumer technology brand in the cannabis space. It's taking the guesswork out of cannabis. Lots of people are coming in, either they've tried it before or after a big hiatus, and there's things like, lemon haze and cherry fizz, and you're trying to make sense of what does all this mean, how much should I take, that type of stuff. And Pax is really focused on trying to take the guesswork out of that.
And you have two main products.
We do.
Can you explain them to me?
Yep, so we have Pax 3, which is for flower and herb, which is, you grind up flower, you put it in, you vape it. And then we have the fastest growing part of our business, which is Pax Era. And it has this Keurig-like, pod and device model. And we have brand partners, I want to say in over 15 states right now, that curate these beautiful different oils, put them in the pods, get them out of dispensaries.
And those are in partnerships with you, so you also...
That's right. Yeah, we curate them in every space. We sell the empty pods. We don't actually touch the plant, and then they fill them, get them out.
And how big of your business is that part of your business?
Oh, it's over half the business. We're growing pretty quickly. We'll grow this year probably 80 or 100% year over year, and that's a pretty bright clip. But most of that's being led by, I would say, the oil and concentrate side of the business.
And how many of the Pax 3 have you sold?
I think we've sold a few million units at this point in time, yeah. It's a very stable business. There's like this originalist, likes cannabis, flower type of thing, and it's growing moderately as more states legalize. But, oil, just the portability factor has been huge for folks.
And how much money have you raised so far?
Quite a bit. We split from our sister company, Juul, a while ago. And so I think we're out raising our first price round right now. I don't think we're talking about how much, but that should be news soon.
But you have already raised some money previously.
Right, about $40 million.
Yeah, and from what type of investors?
Institutionals, Tiger Global, Tau Capital, which invested in SpaceX, invested in Tesla. So some pretty good investors.
And how possible is an IPO in 2019?
We'd like to do that in a U.S. exchange. I think one of the things that people don't appreciate is, we're an American company. We feel like American companies are leading the way on cannabis, and Canada's gone through this whole wave of legalization, so you have American companies listing in Canada. So I think our hope is, we can be an American company listing on the U.S. exchange. Maybe sometime this year, maybe next year, we'll see.
And not all of your products are illegal everywhere. I mean, some of them are legal some places, and some of them are legal everywhere. The Pax 3, correct?
Yes, we make devices, right? So think about it as a platform. We can sell the devices anywhere, but it's hard to find pods. And so typically you'll find the era where cannabis has been legalized. Either the medical level and recreational level is about 33 states that do both. I think Era's in about 13 states, I'd say. Pax 2 and 3 is international. That's why the Pax brand is so well known. You'll find them in smoke shops in New York because you can use it for tobacco, you can use it for, mint leaves, a whole bunch of stuff. But that's why you'll find Pax products, around the country.
And how does sales change when marijuana becomes legal in a state where you're already selling the Pax 3 devices?
We've seen it takes about 12 to 18 months to stabilize. Like what happens is it legalizes and everyone goes, this is really great, and the people that love weed come on, and there's lines outside dispensaries. I think you've seen them in Canada, you've seen them in Massachusetts as well. But it takes about 12 to 18 months for all of the market to work itself out, because you get an initial base of growers and then a small number of dispensaries, and then they kind of expand the licensing regime. One of the things that's been a blessing for the space has just been regulation. I know that sounds weird, but it takes the space out of this black market where people don't know what's in the stuff they're consuming, what's in this brand, has it been tested, is it safe, that type of stuff. And so we see it takes about 12 to 18 months before people get used to the testing standards, the labs are up to speed, regulators know what they're doing, and that's played out in Colorado, California, pretty much every state. Massachusetts is going through it right now, but it's been exciting for us because you get to see that initial base of users. And then you see new people who are coming to the space trying to make sense of it, figure out what's right for them.
And what do you think, what's your outlook in general for the marijuana industry beyond just devices?
I think it is a historic, in consumer packaged goods, I can't think of anything for the next 50 or 100 years that's going to be bigger than cannabis.
Do you think that the currently publicly traded, the places where you can legally invest in marijuana right now, do you think that those are overvalued?
It's hard to say. It's such a big space. It's very early days, right? The space is maybe $15 billion big today, and it's going to be $75, $80 billion just big in about 5 years. Those are very, very big numbers. That kind of value creation just doesn't exist. Outside of machine learning, outside of self-driving cars, I can't think of anything in any space that's going to have that kind of value creation over the next few years.
You've created a few businesses that had nothing to do with marijuana.
This is true.
So how did you get interested in this space?
So I always like the space. You know, what I really like is building great products for folks. Pax had that history of building great products, but I think the future of software driving hardware, which is kind of what Fitbit and other companies have done, is where I see cannabis headed as well. And helping people make sense out of, you know, what makes sense for them, taking the guesswork out of what cannabis is, I feel, as a software and a hardware thing. And I've always been attracted to that. I did that in games, I've done it in smart home, done it in fitness tracking, and this combines all of this consumer things, health and safety things, as well as some of the excitement about cannabis that, you know, frankly like.